Rule number one in baseball, if you don't outwork your competition, you get replaced. Rule number two in baseball, if you become complacent and comfortable, you get replaced. Rule number three in baseball, if you can't handle failure emotionally, you get replaced. So, the necessary framework for those things.
Ardiaga drives one to center. Miller hustling over. Diving catch by Ian Miller. A great catch.
3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Nine Hole Podcast. This is your host, Ian Miller. I hope everybody is doing well tonight. I hope everybody is having a successful start to the season so far. I know that we are underway, obviously, in Major League Baseball, obviously in college baseball. They're pretty far deep into it already, man. I guess, right? I'm not 100% sure, dependent on the area where everybody's seasons kind of start, when they start up, when they get into the heart of it. So I hope everybody is performing well. I hope everybody is healthy. Everybody's happy. So obviously on the Nine Hole Podcast, I aim to provide insight and information to the next generation of nine hole hitters like myself. Obviously, I was a walk-on baseball player who ended up getting drafted, ended up making it to the big leagues. And so I'm just trying to give back and provide insight to the next generation, maybe share some things that worked for me, some ways of thinking that maybe worked for me, worked in my favor, helped me overcome, a plethora of obstacles, made some other people expendable, won me some spots, got me, an opportunity in the big leagues. That's what I'm here today. So that's what I'm going to hit on today, man. I wanted to talk about today. It's going to be the necessary framework. So obviously, I spent some time talking about being replaced. If you don't get better from the year prior, you're going to be replaced. There are challenges and obstacles that get in your way. There are things that are in your control. There are things that are outside of your control. But regardless, you at some point, man, you are going to come across some sort of adversity on the baseball field or surrounding baseball, and you are going to have to overcome it. You're either going to have to remain persistent, be resilient, put your head down, fucking grind some stuff out. However, you get through it, whatever your framework is to overcome adversity or get through some things, like that is it's going to be necessary to progress. It's going to be necessary to get to the next level. It's going to be necessary to make it to the big leagues, right? So that's what I'm here to talk about today. I wanted to talk about the necessary framework, and this applies to student athletes. This applies to baseball players, whether they're in high school, middle school, college, minor leagues. Ben, like you are going to you're going to face a plethora of obstacles. You're going to face a whole bunch of adversity, man. So there needs to be a framework in place that you are you understand, and you can whip out on a moment's notice, or in fucking August when it's hot, it's 105 degrees and humid, and you're just like scratching and clawing to hold on to 300, right? You're going to have to like overcome some adversity in order to get to where you're going, man. So I wanted to talk about the necessary framework to break the fear cycle. Shout out to Ross. The necessary framework to handle pressure and adversity. And then I wanted to talk about the necessary framework to become confident and gain clarity. And that all kind of ties into, there's a couple steps, man. There's a couple steps. I wanted to talk about the factors that kind of influence this stuff, man. Maybe then go into the steps, man. I really wanted to hit on like to the parents. I know we all want the best for our kids, but overcoaching is a thing. Overcoaching is definitely a thing, especially if you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Um, Overcoaching can obviously lead to clouded judgment. Like overcoaching confuses and messes with the focus, right? So think about a kid's attention span. Think about a young kid's attention span. As soon as they lose focus, man, like they have attention span, and they're not going to be listening to you. So I think the goal with when we're talking about the parents, when we're talking about the coaches, with younger players handling adversity, the idea might be to keep it simple. I just wanted to touch on that real quick before we I start addressing the player. But Overcoaching confuses, man. Confusion does not give confidence. Like, keep it simple. There's a million swing gurus out all over the place, man. All over Instagram. Some of them, didn't play past high school. I get it, man. I get it. I'm not saying I can give a better hitting lesson than the average dweeb down the street. That's not. I can't do that, man. I can't do that. But baseball players, especially younger baseball players, are extremely impressionable and can be influenced. And they might not be being influenced the right way. They may not be being led the right way. I think that might start with the coaches, with the parents. And yeah, so clarity, obviously, like not being overcoached, having clarity, having like an understanding of what's going on is going to lead to obvious understanding, but clarity is going to lead to confidence, man. That's Clarity leads to confidence. Confidence leads to hunger, and hunger leads to accomplishment. So when they have a clear picture in mind, when they understand what's going on, when they understand like what they're supposed to be doing, right? Being on time, looking for the right pitch, not necessarily the fucking back elbows and the launch angles at a certain age, but they have clarity, if they have an understanding of what they're doing, it is then going to lead to confidence. They're going to be able to like start formulating a plan, a framework, hopefully, what we're going to be talking about. And they'll be able to kind of like work towards a clear goal, right? Clarity leads to confidence. Confidence leads to hunger. You have confidence in something, you're hungry. You're going to go get it. If you're without it, you're going to go get it. It's going to lead to hunger. Hunger leads to accomplishment. So now for the baseball players that are going to need to overcome fear, overcome pressure and adversity, um, like overcome just not being confident, man, just not having belief in your ability, like overcoming any of that stuff, doubt, uncertainty, fear, man. Like you need to understand some things first. And it's a long season. Baseball is a long season. A baseball career, hopefully, God willing, is a long career. Um, the average MLB career is longer than the average NFL career. I'm not going to start spouting out stats that I don't know, but um, it's a long season. It's a long season, man. So first things first, couple things right off the top. There needs to be some priorities in order to gain clarity, like and start developing a framework to kind of like push past any of these struggles, whether it's slumps, whether it's adversity, whatever it is, man. You're not confident, like I said, you need to understand that the necessary priorities are going to be your physical health, your mental health, and your emotional health. Those are going to be key throughout the entirety of the baseball season. Those things need to be priorities throughout the longevity of your baseball career, throughout the entirety of your baseball career. So you need to make sure you're taking care of your physical health. You need to make sure you're in the weight room. You need to be like doing your throwing program. You need to make sure that you're doing all the shit that you need to be doing. You need to make sure that you're taking care of your mental health. You're not, like overstressed. Like if you need to talk to somebody, you need to talk to somebody. You need to make sure your mentals are good. Maybe you journal out some shit a little bit. Find a way to kind of like blow some steam off, whatever like healthy happenstance that is, man. That's important. The mental health is obviously important. As soon as the wheels start spinning inside the head, man, like how are you going to get out of a slump? As soon as the wheels start spinning here in July, you're 2 months in, you got 5 months left. Like the wheels are spinning in the second month, third month, dude. You're not even halfway through the season. Emotional. Your emotional health is going to be another necessary priority. This is something that you are going to have to take care of, man. Can you control your emotions? Are you in control? If the umpire rings you up, are you going to freak out, throw your bat, snap your shit, go back into the locker room, be a terrible teammate, and then crumble up into a raisin? You got 3 more ABs left in the game. You're out of bats now. You know what I mean? Like, and you just caused a hissy fit. You're gonna take it out there into defense. You're probably gonna make an error. Like all of these things before you start building and taking the steps towards the necessary framework, you need to make sure that you are making these things a priority, the necessary priorities: physical health, mental health, emotional health, and then take it a step further maybe kick you in the chest a little bit with this one. You're going to need to understand that nobody else is going to make you and your feelings and your physical health and your mental health and your emotional health a priority other than your parents. In this world, nobody else is going to make you and those things a priority unless you demonstrate your worth and your value. If you provide worth and value to others, to a team, to a coach, to an organization, like no one else is going to make you a priority. So, like, if you don't get in front of that stuff, if you don't start taking care of your physical health, your mental health, your emotional health, no one else is going to fucking do it for you. And like, no one else is going to make you a priority and those things a priority unless you provide worth and value and a tremendous amount of that. So, as we kind of head into the framework, the necessary steps in overcoming adversities, breaking the fear cycle, handling pressure and adversity, becoming confident, gaining clarity, it's important to understand that the combo, like everybody has an internal voice. Everybody has a combo that they speak to themselves with, whether it's a positive or negative conversation. Hopefully, fingers crossed for you, it is a positive conversation. You have positive thoughts, you think positively, you chirp to yourself positive. You're not woe is me in your fucking head. But the combo that you have in your head controls your thoughts, right? Think about it. I'm not bullshitting. The combo that your head, the combo that you have in your head controls your thoughts, and your thoughts control your actions. And if your thoughts control your actions control your outcome. So it all starts with the way that you talk to yourself, the way you dress yourself, the way that you think about things, the way that you handle things, the way that you self-talk, man. That all influences and is either positive or negative, man. Like it is important to be aware of that. The combo in your head controls your thoughts control your actions, and your actions control your outcome. That's not just me making that up, man. That's not just me making it up. Think about it. So it's important to think positive. It's important to think that you're able to. It's important to have a belief in yourself, but it's important to have clarity. With clarity comes confidence. So what are you going to be doing? What are you like dealing with? If you're dealing with like you can't get the ball out of the infield, okay, break it down. Break it down. What other problems? Like what are those problems? What are the mini problems that go into that? Like what's the reasoning behind that? Are you not in the cage? Do you not work on your shit? Are you not in the weight room to try to get bigger and stronger? Do you not like are you not on time? Where are you hitting the ball off the bat? Is it off the barrel? Is it off the handle? Like what? Can't get the ball to the infield, dude? You're talking to a dude that made a career on not being able to get the ball in the infield. So there's a whole bunch of different things around that, but you want to make sure that you have clarity, and then just have an idea, man. Like think positive. Think positive. I can say it until like I'm trying to think of other ways to say it, but I mean that's just all that's coming out. Think positive, man, because the combo in your head can lead to controlling your outcome. So parents are there's a whole bunch of different problems that parents from with kids from different ages deal with on a different type of level, but some of the questions that I get from the 9 hole audience are like the majority of them are actually from the parents and the coaches, which is fucking great, which is great. So that's why I'm spending some adequate time on this. I want to start throwing this shit in moving forward. That's fantastic. So parents are asking, how do we make our son want to put in the extra work? We know that our son, uh, look, he has maybe some hopes and aspirations, some dreams. Like we know that he isn't maximizing his ability. He really isn't putting forth the most effort. We want the best for him. We don't want him to fail. Like we want to see him do well. We want to see him be the fucking starter. We want to see it. I get it. I get it. But how do we make our son want to put in the extra work? That's tough, and I don't wanna keep you guys here all night. So, let's I'm gonna run you through 4 things, man. Make it fun. Make it fun. Look, baseball, you are going to fail so much in this game, and God willing, you play a long time, so you're gonna fail for a lot for a long time. You're gonna fail a lot for a long time, and it's gonna take a toll on you for sure. Try to make it as fun as possible. So, I'm remembering they're not gonna remember the outcome, they're gonna remember the memories, they're gonna remember the times, man. I remember, like, driving to the games with my mom, 45, 50 minutes away, blaring music, having fun, man, just, like, singing in the car. That's the make it fun. Dude, I couldn't wait to go to games. Like, we'd stop for, like, McDonald's or something on the way home. I'm talking, like, middle school, high school, like, make it fun, dude. You can make it fun. You can make it a hell of a lot more fun, I'm sure. Um, how do we make our son wanna put in the extra work? If he's having fun with it, like, if it is a fun environment, he's gonna wanna be around it. Like, no one just wants to be average at something, not if you're having fun at it. If your kid plays video games, I bet you he's not average at those shits. No way. You don't play video games and you're average. No chance, man. Make it fun. Have it be fun, man. Create a process, whatever the struggles are. Help him create a process to overcome, like, those struggles, those adversities. Don't necessarily do it for him, but help him. Give him some clarity. Hey, dude, You dad, I don't know why I am not the starting shortstop. Well, dude, you can't you're afraid to field a ground ball, you're afraid of the ball. Like, we need to dissect that. We need to break it down a little bit further. Like, you can't be the starting shortstop on a varsity high school team and olay some shit every time a ground ball comes your way. Like, you need to provide some clarity and then maybe help build a process forward. Give the necessary steps. Like, hey, okay, we need to practice forehands, backhands. Like, how do the best do it? Go on YouTube, type in some shit, infield drills, right? To better the glove, man. Like, help create a process, make it fun, show that you care and you are interested. So if you are driving your son to a game or you're going to your son's game or you're the team mom or whatever that is, like, show you care. Show you're interested. Like, no, watch the game, man. I get it. Baseball can be fucking boring sometimes. I don't want to go to a baseball game and watch baseball. Like, my wife will tell you, I don't watch baseball. I can't, dude. Can't do it. It is what it is, but it isn't what it's not. So I get it, but, like, show you care, show that you're interested, and man, that'll go a whole lot, like, farther than anything else, man. If your kid knows that you care, like, take an interest in the other. What are the other kids doing? Like, what are the other kids' names? What positions did they play? I don't know. Show you care, show you're interested. It's gonna make things a lot more fun for him for sure. Lastly, celebrate their success. Like I said, there's going to be a whole lot of failure. There's going to be a high volume of failure throughout the entirety of the career. God willing, they play a long time. There's going to be a lot of failure. Celebrate the success. Your kid goes deep, man, fucking celebrate it. Celebrate that. Go get some ice cream or something, man. I remember that. I remember that. I can clearly remember every time that I would celebrate some success. I hit a home run or something, I get taken out, man. That's awesome. So that can help with making him want to put in the extra work, right? Make some have it be fun, man. Parents need to help their kids build out goals and roadmaps and understand the why. So it's also up to the parents to motivate and inspire their kids by being a good role model, maybe a good leader, setting a good example, showing some good character, passing down some traits. It's up to them, right? And kids are always learning, right? Especially young men. If they don't have that type of leadership or, inspiration, right? They'll just fucking flutter around and they'll just be confused, man. And they'll probably hang around with, they'll be led by losers. So there needs to be some of that in there for sure. Um, and so, like, coaches and parents, they all have their own problems, man. I'm sure they're grinding. They got up early. They might have a job that they're not happy at. They might be, like, out of shape, fucking overweight, whatever it is. They might be unhappy. They might have their own problems going on. Low self-esteem. They might, dude, whatever it is, inadequate, dude. So everybody has their own problems, but the worst thing that they can do is then take those problems out on the kids, right? Maybe overcoach, get frustrated, don't know how to like handle the pressure of the game, pressure of life. It's just a whole tough situation, man. So I think like the parents and the coaches for sure starts with them. Obviously, I mean, no shit. It starts with them. So the necessary framework for the athlete, the necessary framework to overcoming the obstacles, to overcoming the uncertainty, the doubt, to breaking the fear cycle, the necessary framework to handling pressure, adversity, and just like gaining confidence, getting clarity. This is it. This is it. There are 3 steps. There are 3 steps, and it is the necessary framework. Step number one is hard work. It's hard work, man. Wasn't going to fool you. Was not going to fool you. Number one's going to be putting in the time and effort, hard work. Um, so you put in the time and effort, you can probably overcome the majority of the problems, the goals that are in and surrounding the game of baseball. The results will come with time and effort. So if you do a little, you have a little. You can't put in the minimal work. You can't skip batting practice. You can't skip infield, outfield. You can't skip working on your arm in the off season, fucking hitting the weight room and expect to mash. Can't do it. Can't do it. Cannot do it. You're going to have to put in the time and the effort, and the hard work will be able to get you out of pretty much the majority of situations that surround the game of baseball, for sure. I mean, putting in the time and effort, man, having a clear understanding is going to give you confidence, right? You know what you need to work on. You're going to sit back. You're going to think about like the steps that you need to get better, and then you're going to put in the time and effort. That's probably going to lead to a high success rate there, right? So, also talked about a little bit of an equation. Volume times time equals skill. So the amount of times that you do something, the volume, times the time that you spend doing it is going to equate to a skill. So if you want to build a skill, volume times time equals skill. That's going to be under the hard work category. Next, the quality over quantity. We always hear about this. It is about quality, not quantity. This is what that means. So if volume times time equals skill, that's how you build on a skill. There is a way to one up that is if you take quality reps. So you're doing a high amount of volume, you're doing a lot of batting practice sessions, and then the time that you spend doing these batting practice sessions is going to eventually equate to a skill at the plate, a skill in when you hit, a skill in batting practice, right? The amount of time that you do it and the amount of times that you do it by is going to equate to the skill there. The way around that is by doing quality over quantity. So if you are going to try to get ready for a 705 pitch and you take 100 average swings, that's a high volume. You spend a long amount of time at that, and you're going to war tonight with that amount of skill. Would you rather take 100 average swings or would you rather take 30 quality swings? I mean, that's what I'm talking about. So volume times time equals skill. You're going to fucking build on a skill with volume and time, but that beats. I mean, that gets beaten like by the quality bug, dude. So the quality over quantity, that's what everybody talks about. But in order to develop a quality habit, a quality rep, like in order to get the motion down, in order to get the swing down, there needs to be volume and there needs to be time. You are eventually going to then develop that skill. And then as you keep working on it, you develop quality reps, quality habits, and that makes it grow exponentially. That is what I'm talking about. That's the best way I've explained it yet. Fired up that I just did that. So obviously, we are part of the instant gratification generation where our kids, our younger baseball players, or our baseball players in general, expect a big result from a little work. As I said a couple of lines back, do a little, have a little. So, how in the world can you expect a big result from doing little work. That is insane. That's not how it works. You aren't special. It's crazy to hear, dude, but like the rules don't just not apply to you. Like the rules aren't just changed for you. Like in order for me to get to the big leagues, I need to put in the volume and the time more than my competition in order to develop a better skill than my competition. Where I was surpassed by the dudes of the dudes in the big leagues that made me expendable, where they were doing quality reps every single night in every single round, consciously, unconsciously, against the quality pitching, against the quality arms, against like the quality like situations, like, and they're putting out quality reps day in and day out. And that will exponentially like make you grow. And I wasn't able to consistently deliver those quality reps. And I mean, that is what it is. I'm human. So you can't expect a big result from a little work, man. That's not how it works. It's not how it works. You need to put in the time, you need to put in the volume. In baseball, if you don't outwork your competition, you will get replaced. That's law number 1. So the necessary framework, right, in order to overcome obstacles is putting in the time and the effort. That is step number 1, right? Number 2, the necessary framework in order to overcome obstacles, gain clarity, get confidence, break the fear cycle, handle pressure, adversity, all that good stuff is make sure you're in a challenging environment. Make sure you are coming up in a challenging environment. Make sure you are practicing in a challenging environment. Make sure your practice is challenging. Make sure you challenge yourself. Make sure you are getting challenged. Make sure there is some sort of failure in your practice, in your preparation, so that when the lights are on under 7:05 and you are being challenged for real, you don't pucker up into a raisin, right? Make sure that you are being challenged. Make sure that you are in a challenging environment. Make sure you're getting your ass kicked a little bit. So when you are under the bright lights, you can handle it because you are going to be challenged at some point. And if you don't practice that way, how in the fucking world can you expect to play that way? You can't. Can't, man. Coach Sheehan from Millersville, top 10 D2 school year after year. I think he's getting into his 17th season, man. Just said, dude, our hitters bang. Our hitters fucking mash. And it's because we try to aim for at least 50% failure in our practices. These guys are practicing and they're being challenged in practice and they're failing at a 50% clip. Go check out their numbers. It's hilarious. They are nasty, dude. If you want to play at a championship caliber, championship level, you gotta practice at it, man. Make sure the environment is challenging. Proximity is power. So the athlete will be shaped by their environment. Whoever they hang around with, whoever they surround themselves with, they'll be like. So if they hang around with fucking losers, they will probably be a fucking loser. It's unfortunate. If they hang around with people that don't really care, don't put in the work, or kind of just average, don't really get good grades, don't have aspirations, like he's going to be like that. You're going to be like that. Your son's going to be like that. It is what it is. But that's what it is. Whoever they hang around with, they'll be like, it'll mold them. If their environment isn't challenging, they can't expect progress. You can't grow and you can't build on something if you aren't being challenged. Can't. Can't, dude. You know how you hit 100 miles an hour? You face 100 miles an hour and you get your fucking doors blown off a couple times. You're like, yo, this is fast, dude. And after a while, like, now everybody throws 100. So imagine going out there never facing 100 miles an hour before and then facing 100 miles an hour. Good luck. So you set up machines and you make it challenging. If we're in the minor leagues or whatever it is, major leagues, and there is a certain pitcher with like a crazy like release point up top and he throws fucking buzz, they'll set up the machine on stilts. They'll set up the machine on stilts, make it 15 feet up off the ground, and they'll shoot it straight. Like they'll practice that way. And they'll get ready that way. And the team, I mean, I've been on teams that we've done some shit like that, and it works, man. Like if you make the environment challenging, I remember the Mariners, uh, they were trying a whole bunch of different shit, and some of it worked, man. But I remember taking BP in spring training with they would set the machines up and they would do a fucking white tarp behind the pitching machine. So like the white ball was being shot out of a white tarp. And they're like, "Yo, we want to practice fucking really hard. We want to practice really hard. So you guys do well." And it worked. Man, it worked. I think that the minor league team started like thriving then. They fucking turned the whole system around, man. Um, Proximity's power, man. Comfortability breeds complacency. So if you aren't being challenged, if you're just comfortable, if you're just like, dude, this is great. Put my fucking feet up and relax. I'm not, I don't have to grind to hit 300. You're you're out. You're out, man. You're out. Overcoaching doesn't give confidence to the player, only confuses, loses focus, right? Proximity's power, depending on who's coaching you, who's raising you in the game. If you are being coached or guided by somebody that doesn't have your best interest at heart, or they don't know what they're talking about, chances are that you aren't getting good or adequate instruction, is what it is. But the challenging environment, proximity is power, rule number 2, necessary framework, also comes with the rule in baseball: if you become comfortable and complacent, you get replaced. So, in order to overcome that, you make your environment challenging in practice. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. I see it, like, dude, for fun. It was fun for me. I remember going to the batting cage with my buddies, even buddies that didn't like play baseball. We would just have fun doing it. They played baseball, but they weren't playing at the level that I was playing at. They didn't necessarily have like the hopes and aspirations and the dreams that I had in the game. But I remember, dude, for fun, my buddies and I mean, we would go to the batting cages and we would just like turn the shit up to 100 and just like that was fun. Like grinding and battling. That was fun. Yeah, we get our doors blown off, but like you get to choke up, you get a battle. And like eventually you get the motion down. Eventually your swing becomes efficient and short and compact and your fucking hands get to that ball. And like you don't know how you do it. You just let the athletic ability take over, but then you're starting to develop some hand-eye and then it's like, okay, shit, I got some bat to ball skills. And then I can control the top of the barrel. I'm not getting under it. I can hit 100. But, like, you gotta get your ass kicked a little bit in order to find that out. That's what was fun for me and my buddies and I growing up, and I think that's probably what made me, for lack of a better term, elite. That's it. That's how I had fun. That's how I practiced. That's how I practice on a regular basis, and it blows my mind actually to like, today, seeing kids. I mean, I go to even doing, like, a consult like a one-on-one coaching consultant type thing. It's like if they're in a groove and they're feeling it, that's great, man. But if we are spending the whole practice just fucking feeling it off a machine that's going 50 miles an hour or just like flips or like just over the top, dude, that's not doing it for me. That's not how I was like raised. It's not how I came up in the game. That's not how it is in professional baseball. It's not how it is in Division 1 baseball. Like it's not just my values and how like that's how I was fucking challenged in my challenging environments. So I was a walk on, and in Division 1 baseball, they challenge you, and if you don't get challenged in practice, like you're out because you're gonna get challenged in the game. You better be able to handle it. Same in the minor. It's just in the big leagues, in the minor leagues, it's just on a bigger stage with a whole lot more money, and like the stakes are way higher. So in order to even like be in that conversation and get there, like you have to be challenged and there has to be failure. It's gotta be, dude. Because if you become comfortable and complacent, you get replaced. That's just the rule, man. That's the rule. Rule number 3. This is how I should have framed it, man. We're almost done here. I'm running late. Rule number 3 in baseball: if you can't handle failure emotionally, you'll be replaced. Right? So rule number 1 in baseball: if you don't outwork your competition, you get replaced. Rule number 2 in baseball: if you become complacent and comfortable, you get replaced. Rule number 3: In baseball, if you can't handle failure emotionally, you get replaced. So, the necessary framework for those things is hard work, make your environment challenging, and number 3, have emotional discipline. Have emotional discipline. This is big. Probably not talked about enough, but being able to have a handle on your emotions, not let your fucking emotions get the better of you, being able to control those impulses, like staying on like being locked in. Dude, just think about it. Let's think about it. Let's think about it. I'm not asking for much. How much time do you need to pay attention in baseball? I was just talking to I'm gonna talk about it here after here, who's coming on. But I was talking to somebody today, and they're like, "Dude, they're just breaking it down for me. It's like, man, the average attention span. All you need in baseball is to pay attention for 6 to 8 seconds at one time at any given time. A baseball play lasts 6 to 8 seconds, man. So when the pitcher's from the windup, from the stretch, there he throws, and then the ball's hit like from the windup to when the play's dead, 6 to 8 seconds. That's all you need to just lock in. Not asking for a whole lot, but having the emotional discipline, being able to be in control of how you react, your impulses, just the attention span. That's all big. Um, fake confidence. Fake confidence is big. So if you are the type of dude that rides the emotional highs and lows, that's probably not good. So when things are going extremely well for you and you are the best teammate in the world, that's obviously fake confidence. People see through that, teammates see through that, coaches see through that, scouts, recruitment, like coaches, everybody sees through that. Don't do that. Be the same dude. Same dude. Don't get too high. Don't get too on top of the world when shit's going well. Don't get too like down in the dumps when you hit that slump because big dog, it is coming. And you can prolong your career and keep moving forward, progressing if you just stay even. Just stay even, man. Fake confidence is when you start doing the peaks and troughs and you go up and you go down and like you ride that shit. Gotta go this way. Gotta go linear. Ooh, ooh. I played with some teammates. Fake confidence. The majority of kids are soft because they are too afraid to fail. Having emotional discipline is being able to have his impulse control, have an idea of what is going on, how you're going to handle certain situations, knowing how you're going to handle certain situations, and being able to overcome that. The majority of kids not being able to do that is because they haven't failed. They don't understand that it is a tool on the tool belt on the journey of the baseball career. You're going to need it. You got to just fucking embrace it. Sooner you can embrace it, the sooner you can start building. It's crazy. That's crazy, man. Too afraid to fail. There are peaks and valleys, like I said, during the season. Stay even keel, man. Stay even keel. That's a great way to do it. Great way to do it. So that hits on the last law, right? In baseball, if you can't handle failure emotionally, you'll be replaced. I know I got a little excited there, kind of got all over the place, man, but that is all I got tonight. Hopefully that got you guys a little bit of clarity on, the ideas of the fear cycle, why people are afraid. They shrivel up into a raisin when the going gets tough, when there's some pressure, when there's adversity. They're not confident, they don't feel worthy. This is a great way to go about it. I am fired up. It is a privilege to be able to say that tomorrow I will be having Shay Hillenbrand on the Nine Hole podcast with me, two-time All-Star. He's a speaker. He's a keynote speaker, man. He's a elite performance coach. He is a consultant. He's a business owner, man, and he extremely successful baseball player. Absolutely fucking crazy story. Can't wait to have him on the podcast tomorrow. Talk a little bit about it. I'll let him get into it, man. It's going to be a absolute pleasure to have him live here on No Filter, man. So check us out. We will be going tomorrow at noon Eastern. I will leave the link in my bio. Everybody, I appreciate you tuning in. Thank you. Have a good night. I will see you tomorrow.